facilities was trying to break apart from grounds and parks. And we did not have a crew leader for facilities only. So therefore, this is going to be a reclassification for replacing the grounds maintenance crew leader currently. Any questions on those? Mechanic 2, we currently have a mechanic 1. We currently have a mechanic 3. We do not have a mechanic 2. So therefore, being consistent throughout our progression plans, we want to make sure that we have a mechanic 2 in case it is needed in the future. City, again, that position is not currently budgeted. City clerk specialist. This again is a progression plan. Currently, we do not have any backup for our current city clerk. Therefore, it is for the future. It's not budgeted at this time, and it has not been requested at this time. It's just for growth purposes. Any questions on that one? Court clerk 3. Again, this is a growth and reclassification. She does have a court clerk 1 and a court clerk 2. We just need a court clerk 3. She has just a progression plan in order to growth or reclassify one of her current court clerks. Risk management specialist. This is a position that is needed amongst the city overall. It was not budgeted, but it is for growth in regards to our risk management and a lot of the compliance issues that we have come about in the last couple of years to ensure that we get our claims submitted on time in a timely manner and make sure that we have somebody assessing the risk management throughout our buildings as well as our personnel and our work items. Any questions on that? Again, I already went over the executive assistant. That would be the admin assistant 3. Human resource specialist senior. Again, this is not a budgeted position for this current fiscal year. It's just for growth and progression plan purposes. They do have a human resource specialist right now, and they're asking to have an added senior to the pay scale. Combination building inspector. Currently, we have only a building inspector, and that job description is a residential building inspector. The combination building inspector basically puts in the commercial within that job description. So it's a residential and commercial building inspector. This will be a reclassification that is budgeted for this fiscal year. Public Affairs Coordinator. This position was brought to us by administration strictly for the public affairs throughout the city. It's more of a PIO item. This position was not budgeted this fiscal year, but it is for progression plan and for growth. IT public safety analyst. This position is a budgeted position. This is a position to have somebody dedicated to our public safety IT. Currently, we basically sub out that purpose of IT where we utilize outside vendors to do some of our services. With that our services are limited. Sometimes time over, the time is of the essence when public safety's IT is down. So therefore, we have to rely on them. They do have other jobs, full-time jobs, so they are not solely a vendor of our, of a normal vendor. We did price out a vendor to manage a small portion of this, which came back to about $30,000 annually. So therefore, it's ideal to have this position filled and budgeted so that we can start working to get all of the public safety IT items in-house so that we don't have time constraints or any type of things that we don't have access to at hand. The IT Public Safety Analyst Senior is just for growth. This is not budgeted. This position is just simply to have that second step so that when we do get somebody in there, if approved, then we can start that growth process and maybe in a few years have kind of a progression plan so that we have somebody underneath so that we can have that person just kind of slide right in. Assistant Director of Parks and Rec. This position is a 3-month position budgeted. Ideally, what we're trying to do is move our current parks manager into this position. He will be retiring at the beginning of July. So we can hire a new Parks and Rec manager full-time to that position so that he can have a 3-month training session with our current manager and have that move forward. Ideally it's again, this position only budgeted for 3 months, so it drops off in July. And we'll just have the manager at that time starting from July moving forward. Any questions on this position?
Just have a comment, Mayor. Again, as I mentioned in the previous meeting, I don't think it's necessary. We've had positions where people have retired or quit, and there is training provided either as a contract position. And I know it's a retirement and it has a whole different spin to it, but when speaking to legal mentioned that there's ways around it. So again, I don't think it's needed for these 3 months, just to create a position for these 3 months. I don't think it's necessary, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, go ahead.
But you just mentioned that these are just for future.
No, this position is budgeted for 3 months. It's the last quarter of fiscal year 27. The process is to move the current parks manager into this position because he has seniority and he'll be retiring in 3 months once that position is open, and then hire for a parks manager. And then once that person in that position retires, then we will only have a parks manager.
Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
Shona, if you can just explain that during that 3 months, he'll be training
Correct. He will be training the newly brought on parks manager.
Go ahead.
Okay, so paint the scenario for me. We're hiring someone and you're gonna call that person the Assistant Director of Parks and Rec, and then
No, we're hiring somebody. We're moving the current park manager into the assistant director's position. The new oncoming personnel will be the parks manager. This position is only budgeted for 3 months. Once the person retires, we will only have a parks manager.
so why create a position? Why can't we just leave the parks manager right now and just be training?
Best practices is usually you don't have 2 managers in the same position at the same level.
But they're being trained, right?
Even so, they're still the same level. Same
Yeah.
responsibilities, same job description, same everything. Best practices is not to have somebody the same job description, same manager.
Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
Mayor, just Shona, I have a question. Who thought of this new thing?
New thing meaning, can you elaborate?
Yeah, about what you're saying about moving the parks manager to a different position so we can train the new person.
It was notified to us that the current Parks Manager is not going to come back on to train.
No,
As
but
far as,
who thought of that idea?
it was administration, finance, and parks.
Okay, good job. Just one of the city right now, or the county right now is doing that, but it's doing through HR department. So anybody there's a manager or has been there for a while, there's a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience being lost. That means he's gonna be retiring. So they give you the ability for 3 to 4 months so they can hire a new person. So that person can train him and give him all the knowledge that he has, at least, what he can give him. And then after that, that person will retire and then the new one will stay in that position. So just, want to thank you guys for thinking outside the box and, not just leaving people and they retire. Sometimes, it's really hard to get them back as a contract employees because of, whatever it is. So just, I think that's a good idea what you guys doing. And, it's only for 3 months. I mean, even though the new person is not going to get the full knowledge of the person that's retiring, but at least he's going to get, something, the experience and some knowledge that's going to stay with him. So, just good job, administration.
And just to let you know, HR did have a part of that too. She was part of that as well.
Councilman Roldan, I think that there's a misunderstanding. So what they want to do is the current parks manager is going to stay, but they're going to reclassify that person into an assistant director just for training.
Yeah, but it's still
But what-
because you cannot have two people in the same position.
Yeah, yes, yes, you can. The thing is that we know that person, I mean, of course, it's my opinion, that person is going to be leaving and they are retiring, and we're very grateful for the dedication, and they are going to train the new parks manager. I really don't see the how can I put it?
Is there going to be an impact in the money?
No,
So why are we fighting about this? If it's not going to be impact, no matter what the name is, as long as the
There will be an
money,
impact on the money.
no.
no, he's not getting a raise. It's the same money.
Yeah, well, in 3 months, you'll have a manager.
So yes, there will be an
For
impact.
there'll be a quarter impact, yes.
Yes, there will
No,
be.
what I'm
And
trying
that
to
has
say
been
is that,
budgeted.
yeah, what I'm trying to say is the impact means if we move that person to a different position, he's not going to get a raise or anything like that, right?
No.
So if we have two people as managers or
understand.
one as a deputy and one as a manager, is the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. So what's the difference of the title if there's going to be a money difference?
Right. So what is the difference of having it?
Yeah, well, you can have two people. I mean, according to what Shona is telling us.
Yes,
So
It's not
what
best
is the math?
practice.
You can.
It's not best
Yeah.
practice.
I guess legally it can be done, but if HR and administration is recommending, and we understand from the two councilwomen, they're not in favor of it, but from what I hear, Mr. Roldan agrees with the administration, so I think we can move on. I think we've stated
Okay. Yeah.
well, how we feel about it. And
Yeah.
but we understand that for that position, there's no additional, of course, you're gonna have redundancy there for 3 months.
Yeah.
So that's the only impact, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So that is our additional positions to add to the pay scale that we're recommending. Again, I wanted to state that this is a pay scale. Doesn't mean that these positions are budgeted. They also have to come back to council in regards to budgeting any additional positions. So I just wanted to make that very clear, that just because you're adding it to the pay scale does not mean that it is there for anybody to use, just to use and fill the position without council's approval. It has to be budgeted, and it does go through a vetting system in regards to the justification for that to be budgeted.
I have a quick question
Yes,
here.
go
On
ahead.
the administrative specialist too, you didn't put a proposed grade. What would that fall under?
That's a current, that's a current position that's under admin specialist.
So
So it's gonna be in that same, range as the admin specialist.
the proposed, the 10,
No, the admin specialist, I don't have the current pay scale that's already, because admin specialist is already, on the pay scale.
no position.
It's just the
Okay.
title change,
okay.
correct?
Yeah, okay.
Mayor, if I may, I think that was what we were at the beginning. I think that was why that was administrative specialist 1, 2, and 3, yeah.
But I was just.
Yeah, you saw the bottom one,
The-
yeah.
The pay grade, I wanted to have a
Ah.
visual on how much.
Oh, okay.
you know, from the image.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
It says, for the mechanic two, I would like some more justification on that, but it says added COSL, COY. What is that? Oh, City of San Luis and City. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's the comparisons. Any more questions on these additional, positions? Okay. The next one is like, as stated, the budgeted positions. Currently, we are requesting, 5 additional officers, for 2027. Again, the Parks and Facilities Assistant Manager, title change only. Facilities Maintenance Techs, weekends, there's part-time. Facilities Maintenance Tech Senior is part-time, weekends. Public Safety Analyst, full-time. And then the Admin Specialist 3, that's just a reclassification, not a new fill or a new hire. And then Water Operator 3, full-time, 2 positions. And then the Clerk 3 is a reclassification, not a new fill. And these are all what has been included in the budget for this fiscal year. Any questions?
Yes, go ahead.
On this water operator 3, the notes indicate that there's going to be a retirement as well.
Correct.
To fill that retirement, that's why you're requesting those 2 new positions?
No, those 2 positions basically are for workflow. We still have the retirement's gonna be there, but yes, it is a succession plan. So usually the manager or director of that department is the water operator 3 would be available to apply for those positions that are
For the
vacant.
supervisory
Correct.
position that's being retired, okay.
Any more questions? Okay, the next discussion is the fleet. As stated in previous, when we were doing work sessions in regards to fleets and vehicles, I had stated that I was speaking with Enterprise Fleet Management to get a better option of basically a better bang for our buck, to utilize the amount that we have in our fiscal year 27 budget in order to use that based amount to see how much vehicles we can lease at this time, and to see if we can turn 4 vehicles into more. The fleet synopsis was given to Fleet, and they had reviewed the recommendations for Enterprise. And how our process went is basically, we have this big spreadsheet with all of our fleets. It was given, I worked on it prior to our fleet manager coming on board and our parks and our public works director coming on board. Once we worked on it with all of the departments to try to get the best basis of it, we do have a software system that is supposed to have all of this in there, but it was not updated. So then when the fleet manager and the public works director came on, they were given this spreadsheet to update our software and ensure that everything was in there and ensure to go over and make sure everything was correct. We've had help from finance, have help from HR to make sure that all of the information was current and correct. And then we relied on Fleet in regards to trying to make sure that everything's on there correctly. I know that they're still working on that worksheet just to make sure that the software is updated. I have not received an update on where we're at on that, but that's what we're using. We're trying to get away from this manual spreadsheet and go to the software that we've had implemented for quite some time and just never been used correctly in the past. So we did that sheet. I sent that sheet over to Enterprise. Enterprise did an analysis in regards to what was our average life, what was our average mileage of our vehicles, what is our fleet size, kind of their recommendations. Now this has this synopsis did not come back to say, hey, these vehicles are in service. They were on our list of inventory. So our fleet size is 84. This does not include equipment. Our average odometer reading is 124,000 miles. And our average years of our vehicle years is 19. So we're just about 20 years. So with all of our vehicles, the average age of our vehicles is 20 years old. The way that Fleet Enterprise works is basically trying to give us the best vehicles for what we can afford and what our budget is. And yes, this is going to be an annual cost. But the way it works is it's taking the maintenance that we do now on these vehicles and shifting the line item. Basically, our maintenance will go down, and that money will be savings in order to pay against the lease services. We can go on 3-year, we can go on 5-year. It really depends on us. We can go from 19 vehicles, we can go to 5 vehicles, we can go to our whole fleet. It really depends on us. And what basically the base part of it is, and when I talk to other people that are doing this, is the fact of you can get these, do it for 5 years, do a 5-year lease, and then buy out however many of those vehicles at a fraction of the cost. So at the end of this life term, if we don't like it, we don't want to do this anymore, we can buy out these vehicles for a fraction of the cost. So right now they're recommending 19 vehicles. Those 19 vehicles can be purchased for about 1/3 of the price going out, and they're only 5 years old. So that's way better than what our fleet is now if we want to move forward and not go with them anymore. So it's again, going back to a budgetary more bang for our buck and trying to get some of these old vehicles out of service and getting some of the newer vehicles in. So that process, they gave us a listing, we sent it back to Fleet and Public Works Director in order to review it. They reviewed it, caught some items that they disagreed with. We sent it back to Enterprise, and then they gave us this. Today I was informed that I got another list from Fleet. Just got it this morning. So I asked them to do some comparisons of why and when, so that we can go ahead and forward that information if you guys want that information. But this is discussion just to kind of move towards, I still have to bring back the agreement, I still have to bring back the list of vehicles. It's just a matter of if this is something that we can recommend to move forward with, so that we can go ahead and try to see if we can get 19 vehicles in lieu of 4.
Go ahead.
So I saw your list, and so I divided it. So more or less it comes out to about $55,000 per vehicle.
Correct.
And so when I saw the departments on there, this is just the number of vehicles. We're not agreeing to the departments that are listed.
No, this is what Fleet has recommended as of the time that I have to put in the air form. Apparently Fleet is recommending a whole nother group of vehicles, which I don't know why the recommendation was given yesterday. So I'm waiting for that clarification and that justification. But no, this is not set in stone.
Okay.
This is more of a, hey, this is a program that I think we should try as far as budgetary is concerned and could help us with our fleet and then move forward. If there are different recommendations, I'm assuming recommendations that are coming from fleet are the highest of the recommendations because they know what the ins and outs of the vehicles are. And then bring that back to council at the time of executing the contract.
For the 19 vehicles, not necessarily.
It could be less, more, you know, I mean, right now, what the budget I have is 186,000. That's what I'm working with. And that's what Enterprise is working with. They're
No
not
matter the
going-
vehicle.
No matter the vehicles, they're working on that within that budget. And these are the recommendations they give according to their database of what I've given them on that spreadsheet. So they're just taking the type of vehicle, the average mileage and how old they are and what the resale is. And they're taking those, that's why they gave me the recommendation. But we don't know if they're in service, if they're running daily. That's why I gave them to Fleet. And Fleet has looked over this list twice already. And now it's the third time that they're gonna go through it.
So, I'm sorry, so where you said right now, the vehicle type, so we have to keep that vehicle type that you have here, that would match the 180, well, the 200,000, right? The vehicle type section,
The vehicle type
Uh-huh.
of what type of vehicle we're getting.
right? Those are the 19 that you have on here, so
Correct.
we cannot change that vehicle type because that's what we're
Oh, we
getting.
can change the vehicle type. We can
So-
change within whatever we want as long as it sticks under the $186,000.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying, so it might change.
It could change.
Okay, thank you.
Question.
Yes, go ahead.
This 186, I know you put it on the sheet above, where you're taking those 3 vehicles or 4 vehicles requested from the CIP, and that's what makes your 186.
Correct.
Correct?
Correct.
But we're still needing, what, 30,000?
No, so this is so you're looking at the 200,000?
Yeah,
So the 200,000, they're giving us an annual yearly cost due to the fact of the maintenance and the different things. But as of right now, the lease agreement is going to be $186,000. That's it.
okay, and and the reason why they, parks, Public Works might have come back to you with a new list is because I sent out an email. I can say that. I sent out an email to request, because during the tours, we saw the vehicles. We saw streets, and I went ahead a step above and went to see parks, and parks is in the same condition. So in my opinion and my suggestion is needs over wants. So in my opinion, I took pictures. I have those pictures, and more than anything, it's a safety concern to me for our guys to be driving those vehicles. So I did request the verification of the streets, just specifically streets, because of all they don't have AC. There's maybe, what, 2, 3 vehicles that have AC, and with our, and it's, again, it was just my suggestion, because with the temperatures that we have now, we need to start taking care of our staff. So maybe that's why they came back and requested, and I can give you the pictures for justification, because they are in quite a bit of a, and again, I know that economic development requested a vehicle, and it's part of the CIP, okay, whatever, but IT has vehicles available, and we can share for a bit while we take care of the ones that are really needed and to repair.
And
That's-
again,
and-
IT did not request a vehicle. It was just going by the list of the, yeah. And as far as wants and needs, none of the vehicles are wants. They're all needs. But I understand that there's more that need it more than others. Because as you see, our average life
Yeah, I know
is
we have
19.
old-
Yes.
Old vehicles, and I do understand that, but again, I think the greater need is those that are working out on our streets and parks, my opinion.
You know, I'm always concerned when council members get into the weeds, I'll defer to administration on that to make those decisions. Because when we start getting into that level of, I don't think that's our function as elected officials. So I'll defer to administration and approving the budget and I guess the decision as far as leasing or buying, that's what I think we will give direction.
And that's pretty much my presentation, unless you guys have any other questions.
Any other questions or comments? No?
And I do have an action item on the agenda for tonight's council meeting in order to either move forward with the recommendations in the process.
Are we ready to make a decision though on that one, if it's, or do we need additional
On the
information?
vehicle lease?
Yeah,
No, for the vehicle lease, it's just a decision to move forward. If you want me to go ahead and move forward and
Move
start
forward,
executing with,
but we still need, but we can still make a
it still
decision
needs
as
to
far
come
as
back.
buying or. Yeah,
correct,
okay.
yes, it still needs to come back.
Yeah, when you give up the presentation, I would like to see graphs and more like comparing both and more of a graphical presentation. That's how I envision it. 6:40, meeting's adjourned.